And you know how I stated in this video, college football's worst nightmare is coming true? It's funny because I just stumbled across this comment, so if you think I'm overhyping this, I'm not. College football's worst nightmare is unfolding right in front of their eyes. On a serious note here, and I don't want to go on a major rant and tangent on my Thursday night, this is such a loser mentality. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hope all of you having a great week. Hope all of you having a great Thursday. If not, hope this video can make it a little bit better. And man, oh man, we got a jam-packed video, so I hope you're ready. One of the topics on the agenda tonight is LSU. They've received some not so great news regarding one of their star players. We're going to talk a little bit about them, what they're going to do moving forward. We haven't talked about LSU in a while, so it seems like it's only right. And also, we're going to take a look at some of these games this weekend, and I'm going to give you my picks. The only game up until this point that we have previewed or predicted is the Alabama-Georgia game and Colorado versus UCF. There's a couple other, or not just a couple, but about 4 to 5 other big games I want to talk about. Last week, instead of making a couple separate videos for these different previews and teams, we just combined it all into one, and I think you guys like that, so we're going to do it again this week. And last but not least, the main topic of tonight's video. I saved the best for last. Let's just say college football's biggest nightmare is coming true. These college football athletes are straight up finessing the system. You're going to want to stick around for that, and you'll see what I'm talking about when we get to it. Safe to say it's going to be a good one. Strap in, buckle up, get you a snack, get you a popcorn, get your favorite meal you like to eat when you watch a video, because trust me, I do the same thing. But all right, Matt, blah, 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 shut the crap up. Now, enough further ado, let's get into it. Alright, first things first, let's get some of these picks and previews out the way. I say previews, I'm not really going to do like a 4-minute preview for every single game. I'm just giving you my picks. I personally only really like previewing big time games, and I think most of you are in the same boat. But let me give you some of my picks for this weekend. Miami, Virginia Tech, they play Friday night. Duh, obviously, give me Miami. Here's a game that really piques my interest. USC and Wisconsin. A couple weeks ago, Alabama just completely dismantled that Wisconsin defense. Can USC do the same thing? I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. I know what some of you are sitting here saying, Matt, why have we been talking about this game? And it's because I want to see if USC can take care of business. This is the stereotypical game that USC is supposed to win, but they'll somehow, some way screw it up and lose. I know they're coming off of the devastating loss, but if you can go out there and beat Wisconsin by 17, 20 points, that would really impress me. Reminder, your year's not over just because you lost one regular season game. 12 teams are getting in this playoff. And that's why I love the 12-team playoff so much, because you can lose a game or two and you're still going to be in the race. At 2:30, this is close to being a top 15 matchup, but it's not. We got Louisville and Notre Dame. Just now seeing the line for this game, and Notre Dame is favored by 7 points, and I agree with that. Obviously, you don't got to be a rocket scientist to sit here and say Notre Dame should win the game. They got more talent, and they're a better overall football team. But, and I have a really big but, you better believe this, the same thing applied when they played Northern Illinois. They should have beat Northern Illinois, but we saw how that turned out. And unfortunately for Notre Dame, you need style points, okay? With a miserable loss to Northern Illinois, I don't think if you just skim by Louisville and USC and Florida State this year, you're getting in the playoff. Notre Dame really needs to win this one. Riley Leonard's been a huge disappointment, so I want to see if he can show up in a big-time game. There's one player in particular on their team that has been standing out to me, and that is former Alabama wide receiver Ja'Cory Brooks. He's going to be a guy to pay attention to. I think Louisville can score points on him. The question is, can their defense stop Notre Dame? Y'all don't even understand. I want to pick Louisville so bad, and I probably should, but my initial thought is, okay, I'm going to go with Notre Dame, and I'm going to stick with that. If it comes back to bite me in the butt, I'll go on a rant and tangent whenever that happens, but give me Notre Dame by 3 points. Moving along here to this game, and I know some of you probably don't even care about it. It's an afterthought for you. But for me, this is one of the most interesting matchups this weekend, and it's one of the games I'm looking forward to the most, and that is Auburn versus Oklahoma. Auburn's a crap show, okay? If you haven't been keeping up with them, you're not missing much outside the fact they can't stop turning the ball over. To say they have quarterback problems, that'd be understating it. They are in full-out panic mode. This almost feels like a must-win, or Hugh Freeze, he's going to be on the hot seat if he's not already. On the flip side for Oklahoma, yeah, they kind of have a quarterback controversy going on, but it seems like they're wrong with Hawkins, and fans, they're content with that. But I wouldn't be so quick to saying, okay, we found our guy, just because he hasn't really been playing that much, and you don't know if he's going to go in here against Auburn and lay an egg. Because remember, same thing happened with Auburn last week. They thought they found their new guy in Hank Brown. He goes out there against, Arkansas, those 3 interceptions in the first half. I'm not saying that's going to happen with Hawkins in Oklahoma, but what I am saying is don't be so quick to say, okay, we found our guy, because I don't think you have. The really fascinating thing about this game is whoever loses, their fan base is going to be pissed. Oklahoma fans are going to feel like it's an embarrassment to lose to this sucky and sorry Auburn team, and I think it's vice versa for Auburn. Auburn would be quite embarrassed to lose to an Oklahoma team at home that's not too great. If this was a road game for Auburn, I don't think their fans would be too upset if they lost. But since it is at home, yeah, I think they're expecting a win. Or not expecting, a better way to say it is, they are hoping for a win. I'll tell you this much though, I've watched every single one of Auburn's games this year, and I don't trust them, and I don't know why anyone else would. Their defense is fine, it's not insanely good, but it's their offense. When you're turning the ball over 5 to 6 times per game, and you don't even have a quarterback that can throw a 10-yard pass, you're not going to be competing against anybody in the SEC. You lost to Arkansas, no disrespect, but you lost to Arkansas at home by double digits. It doesn't get any more embarrassing than that. And it's not like Arkansas played out of their mind. Arkansas played awful that day. We have a joke on Twitter where I say, oh, this is the battle of the mid, but no, this is the battle of the bad. This game's going to come down to who's worse, not who's better. I also think Oklahoma's defense is better than Auburn's. I'll take Oklahoma in that one by, let's say 7 points. Another 2:30 SEC matchup is Arkansas versus A&M. This is always a close game, and Arkansas should be ranked inside the top 25 4-0 if they didn't squander away that game against Oklahoma State. And yes, I'm still upset about that. I still can't get over Arkansas blowing that game, but that's a different conversation for a different day. Arkansas's quarterback, Taylor Green, he hasn't exactly been lighting it up, but when he's on, he's on. And although A&M hasn't been crossing all their T's and dotting their I's, I think the talent's going to be too much, and they win this game. And last but not least, we got a top 20 matchup in the Big Ten. Illinois coming off of that very impressive win over Nebraska, the Cornhuskers, versus top 10 Penn State. Penn State is a whopping 19.5-point favorite. I'm going to keep it a Fortnite V-Buck with you. I have no idea why Penn State is favored by 20 points. I think this line should be around 6 or 7 points, but that's just me. As we all know, Penn State has Drew Aller. He's nothing special, and I actually believe Illinois' quarterback, Luke Altmaier, is better than him. I'd give the edge to the Penn State running backs, and Penn State overall, top to bottom, they are the better team. The problem with Penn State the past 5 or 6 years, and it's why I don't talk about them too much, is because they're irrelevant. They can't win the big games. Until Penn State beats Michigan or Ohio State, they're completely irrelevant to me, so we don't talk about them much. But give me Penn State in this one by about 7-10 points. That's all the games we're going to talk about, and I know there's a few others I didn't talk about, but it's because either A, I didn't think it was important, or B, we don't have time. We still got to talk about 2 other topics. The second topic of tonight's video, it's more so of an update, and I'm a little late to it. I knew it happened a couple days ago, but I do want to speak on it. Harold Perkins, the star defensive player for LSU, he's going to be a top 10 NFL draft pick. He is out for the season. You hate to see it. My prayers and thoughts going out to him. Hope he has a nice and safe recovery. But for LSU, how does this affect them moving forward? Well, the downside about losing a great player, and a lot of people don't take this into account, is not only are you losing a great player, but that means there's going to be less opportunities for other players. Let me explain. When you have an outstanding talent like a Harold Perkins, Will Anderson Jr., guys like that, Aiden Hutchinson at Michigan a couple years ago, the other team has to double or triple team them sometimes, which means, yeah, Harold Perkins may not have 20 sacks a season, but he's going to free up other opportunities for other players. Well, now that he's gone, you know where I'm going with this. The other team doesn't have to double team him anymore. And then you're going to insert a new younger guy to replace him that obviously isn't going to be close to the level of Harold Perkins. And it's not like LSU's defense was good in the first place. I think they're below average. I mean, they just can't get stops. It's going to affect the defense. As to how much, well, we don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But I got a feeling some LSU fans are listening or watching going, well, Matt, our defense wasn't good like you said, so it doesn't matter anyways. And hey, that's a fair argument, but it's not going to help you losing a guy like this. Unfortunately, we got to get a move on to the main topic, the main encore, main reason you clicked onto this video. What in the world is going on in the college football world? Great question, my friend. As a matter of fact, it's an outstanding question, and I'd love to answer it. We've talked plenty about this already. We've made 2 entirely separate videos covering the situation. The UNLV incident with Matthew Sluka. We're not going to get into that situation specifically, but it goes hand in hand with what we're about to talk about. Mr. Matthew Sluka found a loophole, and it's not a hidden loophole, but the way he's using it, we haven't seen it used like that before. He's a starting quarterback of a team that's 3-0, and he decided, hey, I'm not going to play the remainder of the season. I'm going to sit and transfer elsewhere next year and play the entire season. What's the loophole in that, you may ask? Well, there's a reason he decided to quit or sit down after the 3rd game. Because the NCAA has implemented a rule, for those of you who don't know, if you don't play 4 games, you maintain that year of eligibility. It's like you didn't even play. If you play in 4 games, you burn the red shirt. But if you play in 1, 2, or 3 games, you're good. You're fine. You get another year. So that's why his decision came out after 3 games. Just wanted to explain that before we go any farther. Well, ironically enough, his teammate that's a running back did the exact same thing. He tweeted out, "After 3 games, I've decided to utilize my red shirt and enter the portal at the end of the season as a redshirt junior. I'm grateful for UNLV and wish them nothing but success. Expectations for opportunities unfortunately were not met, and I'm excited to continue my football career." There are some people saying, "Oh, here we go. UNLV dropped the ball with this one again. They're not paying these players the money," and yada, yada, yada. You know how it goes. And I assume he was reading those comments because he then tweeted this out. "My decision has no ties to NIL agreements. This is due to on-field opportunities. I did not receive a dime from any UNLV collective." So you know what this means, right? 3 games into a season, he realized, hey, I'm not playing much, and I'm probably not going to play much for the remainder of the season. So why would I burn a year of eligibility? I could just up and say right now, hey, I'm not going to play from here on out, and it's like this year never even happened, and I get another year of college football, baby. When he tweeted that out, he was catching a ton, and I mean a ton of heat in the comment section. Let's just say college football fans are not a fan of this, and matter of fact, that'd be understating it. They hate it. Take a look at these 2 comments. "Dang, so you're just a B-word LMFAO. Another one. "That makes your decision even more stupid, LOL." So it's sounding like people would have actually respected his decision to leave if it was about NIL and not about playing time. Because now, since he's came out and stated it's due to playing time and not NIL, people are taking it as, oh, well, you're just up and leaving because you weren't playing. It's a crazy loophole when you think about it, because as an athlete, you know good and well heading into that 4th game of the season, whether or not you're going to get meaningful action the remainder of the year. And if you want to play college football for as long as you can, and you know you're not going to play the remainder of the season or play much, let's say you're only getting 5, 6, 7 carries per game, why would you burn that year? This isn't a good situation, and we're not even close to being done with this. But like I say, or it feels like I say this every single time we talk about NIL or the transfer portal, hate the game, not the player. This is the equivalent to getting mad at a billionaire for taking advantage of some loophole in the tax system. Well, he didn't break the law. He just found a loophole and he's taking advantage of it. So be mad at the tax system, not him. Anyways, continuing along here, he's not the only reason I'm talking about this, because news also came out yesterday that former 5-star recruit, former Georgia player, I think he had, 2 sacks against TCU in the national championship game? Bear Alexander is doing the exact same thing. Yes, that is right. You heard me correctly. He's going to sit out the remainder of this entire season, redshirt, and enter the portal. And you want to take a wild guess at why he's doing that, guys? Because things aren't going his way. Welcome to the new era of college football. When things aren't going your way and you're not getting the playing time you thought you were going to get, you can throw a hissy fit and enter the portal and leave just like that. And you can do it multiple different times. And you know how I stated in this video, college football's worst nightmare is coming true? It's funny because I just stumbled across this comment. So if you think I'm overhyping this, I'm not. College football's worst nightmare is unfolding right in front of their eyes. You literally can't make this up. What a coincidence. And I'm glad I'm not the only person who thinks that. Hey, like they say, great minds think alike. So whoever wrote that comment, shout out to you. On a serious note here, and I don't want to go on a major rant and tangent on my Thursday night, this is such a loser mentality. I understand it if you're frustrated and things aren't going your way and you transfer after the season. You have never seen me criticize a player for entering the portal or anything like that. I always wish these guys the best of luck. My golden rule is I don't mind a guy transferring once. I feel like they deserve 1 free transfer. 2 transfers, I start to question them a little bit. And 3 transfers, I'm already writing you off. I'm like, yeah, this guy just doesn't want to put in the work. But this right here, this is on a different level. This isn't red shirting or any of that. Let's just call it for what it is. You're quitting. You are quite literally saying, you know what, F this team. Coach said he was going to play me more. I don't know why I'm not playing, so I'm out of here. See you chumps later. And here's my question to Mr. Bear Alexander. Do you think this is a good look? Why would you think another head coach in the portal is going to look at you doing this to USC and go, oh yeah, that's a guy I want on my team? Because I hate to be the bearer of bad news, buddy. That ain't going to happen. It is a similar situation to Cormani McClain, the guy who left Colorado, bashed Deion, and walked down at Florida, and now he's not even sniffing the field. He's not even sniffing the depth chart. Cormani McClain bashed Deion Sanders in Colorado on YouTube, and although you may feel that way, why would you come out and say it? Do you not think these other schools and programs are going to watch that video and ask Coach Prime how you were when you were there? I mean, come on, man. And I know Bear Alexander's not bashing USC, but it's the principle I'm talking about. Coaches are going to look at this and it's going to turn him off. I'll put it to you like this. If he would have finished this season out and left, even though he already left Georgia and now he'd be leaving USC, but he finished the year, I wouldn't be mad. But this, yeah, it kind of irks me. It kind of gets to me. It's more than a game. It's bigger in football, because if you're going to quit on your team not even halfway through a season, what's to say 10 years down the road you're not going to quit on your marriage when it gets rough or other things in your life? And I have to remind myself to take my own advice, because I'm the one who has said, hey, don't hate the player, hate the game. And same thing can be said for the UNLV running back. You're quitting on your team. But then I have to remind myself to look at it from their standpoint and look at the situation from their shoes, because they're trying to make the best decision for themselves. If you were in their position and things aren't going your way and you're not playing, why would you burn a year of eligibility? You see what I'm saying? It's a double-edged sword. There is legit arguments for both of them, and I could sit up here and debate myself. I'm not even talking to anybody else. I'm just talking to you guys. I could debate myself and go back and forth for no lie the next 30 minutes. Instead of doing that, here's what we're going to do. I'm curious. Let me know your thoughts on all this down below. But Roman,